Welcome back to our channel Tanya Aisha, and today in this video we'll be talking about most of the works of Ali Hazelwood, or you can say that this video will be kind of a guide to her works. So let's just start the video. The first book I read of Ali Hazelwood was The Love Hypothesis, which also happens to be my first hard copy version of a romance book that I read, which basically means that for the past 2 years I was like reading fan fictions of BTS, but this book, The Love Hypothesis, was my first real novel, like entering the real world of novels. This is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. To give you a synopsis of the book, we follow Olive Smith and Adam Carlson. Olive is a third year PhD candidate and Adam is the professor of the university. Olive is basically from, like, the whole setup is in STEM university. STEM is a very reputed science, like very reputed university in which the student do research and there are research papers that are done. So she is a part of that university. Basically what happens that Olive has a friend Ahan. Now Ahan has a crush on Olive's ex. So in order to make her best friend comfortable, I believe that she surely can approach that boy and she no longer have feelings for that boy. She said that she is in a new relationship, and in order to make her friend believe that she is in fact in a relationship, she goes and kisses the first professor she sees, because at that time she had said Ahan that she is going on a date and she happens to be in a lab, and eventually she also spotted Ahan there, and since Ahan was watching Olive from a distance and to make her believe now that she was definitely on a date, she kisses the professor that comes out of the door, and that happens to be the most grumpiest professor you'll ever see, and that is Adam Carlson. Adam default state is being the grumpy. That's it. Now you might think that the professor will be very angry on her and make it a very big deal, but it doesn't happen like that. Now Adam agrees to be her fake date. He agrees that he'll fake date her and he'll make all that gestures and he'll do all that things to make people believe that that they are in fact dating, because okay, you might think that teacher-student relationship is not allowed. It might be against the law, but it's not that. Olive is a student of different department and Adam is the professor of a different department, so it's not like basically against the law. So yes, so like it can happen. Now the one thing that I didn't like about the book is the repetitive talk of how big Adam is. Like, come on, I know he is big, I know he is tall, I know he is muscular, but why reminding me in every page that he is that big, he is that muscular? Like, I do not have dementia, I do not have like that tendencies right now. I do not need to be reminding of everything here and there. Like, you know, it happens in the most romance book that there is certain, like, a specific part of a body that's highlighted everywhere, be it eyes, be it that smile, and in this case it happens to be how big Adam is. And it is, and I'm not even exaggerating, yeah. You know, the amount of time our author Ali Hazelwood has reminded us how big he is, how muscular he is, how big his hand is. He is like mountain.
Stop.
Seriously, like, I was like, stop it. There was a point I was actually frustrated and you'll just stop it. I do not need to be like reminded of that. This was one thing that just annoyed me so much during the whole book. But if I keep a blind eye on that, apart from that, their story was cute. It was cozy, cute story. It is contemporary romance and it has an intimate scene in it towards the middle of the book, and there are misunderstandings, miscommunication between the characters that lead to the second half of the book. Like, initially when I read it, I was like, it was a 4-star book, but now if I think about it, if I truly think about it, considering all the aspects of the book and all the things that is in the book, like, there was one good thing that I really like about this book is that one thing that Ali Hazelwood do is that she really shed light on the life of women in any university, in any college, or in any field, like how women are being treated and how gender inequality is there, how people look down on women just because they're women. Yes, seriously. So you will also get to see the hardship of Olive, like how hard she has to work in comparison to other men's, because her head is a male. And you'll also see that she goes through one of the molestation, and like there are things like that. Overall, I like this book. I have good time reading it, so I'm gonna go with 3.5 stars. Like, yes, 3.5 stars for this book. Moving on to the second. Okay, so the second book that I have to talk is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, of course. Now, you won't believe me if I say this, because this is very unpopular opinion, that I liked Love Theoretically better than The Love Hypothesis. Like, for me, this everything about this book is better than The Love Hypothesis. Like, The Love Hypothesis was, it was kind of average. Like, her writing was average, and the story was also, in a way, like it was kind of average, But this book, you can see that she has improved much better. Like, her writing has improved, and even the story is a little upgraded. Although I have to say that the setting is, like, it's same. Like, it's just same thing, everything is same, just there are different characters. The setting is same, the story is same, the struggle of the characters are same, the animosity between the characters, like the initial enemies kind of vibe between the characters is the same, and how they eventually fall in love and confess and say that, oh, I've been in love with you for so many years, is same. What's different is that, and to give you the blurb, this story is about Elsie Hanaway and Jack Smith. Now, Elsie is a theoretical physicist, and Jack is an experimental physicist. One thing that you need to know, that in this world there is a war going between the experimental physicist and the theoretical physicist, because they are like, oh, which branch is better? Like, the MBBS and engineering, my MBBS is better, and there is engineering is better. Another thing is that this this war have actually started because of Jack. Jack has written something about the theoretical physicist, and because of that they all are doomed, and they like eventually hate him, and he is like Enjaima, and he's that hatred grumpy character that lives on his own, doesn't give a shit about anyone else around, and like that teacher who's every student fear. So he's like that. Okay, coming back to the story, this is about Elsie, who is a theoretical physicist. She is a teacher. She teaches, and in her part time, she is also on a fake dating app in which she becomes the fake girlfriend of the clients. It's a one time thing. Like if I have a client today, I'll go on a date with him, and that's it. Like, that's it. There is no second time. But there is his one client. There is one client that she is inclined towards. Like, she basically likes him. His name is Craig, and he is basically well mannered and well behaved with her, and also pay good amount to her. Like, he's basically from a rich family. So she is going on a third fake date with him because he has a secret. He's kind of asexual, so in order to make his family believe that I am in a relationship, he goes on a fake date. Like, he take Elsie with him and goes to meet his family. There we get to see Jack. Like, that was the first time that they both meet. So Jack is basically the older brother of Craig, and when he sees Olive, he did not at all approve of her. Like, he believes that there is something that she is hiding, which definitely she is hiding. So there is something that she is hiding, and he always question her, oh, what are your motives related to my brother, why you are with him, kind of thing. So this happened because Jack has very this happy family. Like, their family is really complex. So he only have this brother, and he so much love his brother. Like, he also love his grandma, if I remember correctly. So but like he loves his brother and he wants to protect him, so he do not want that any trouble comes because of this girl. So that happened. So okay, this happened. Now Olive, sorry. Now Elsie is really struggling in her compartment. Like she lives with her friend, of course, which is side character. So they both are on fake dating app. So she lives with her in a very very poor condition room. And even though she hates her job as a physicist, she has to do it because she has to pay the bills. Like one day what happens that she sees a job vacancy in a newspaper or something, and that's a vacant position in MIT. So she thought for applying it, and when she goes on an interview, like it was like the interview was kind of a dinner date. Like it was kind of a dinner interview. Like you go on a dinner and there will be the professor will be there and they'll ask questions with you, kind of thing was that. So she goes there, and there two people were going to interview her. One was a girl of her head department. So she knows that the head is coming, but she didn't know who the second member is. Now we'll see that when the second member enter, he is none other than our Jack Smith. So then we get to know that Jack is the head of the experimental physicist, and she is going in MIT to take a position of a theoretical physicist. Now they already was in clash, so they already have that enemies to lover wife again. Like she introduced like when Jack sees her that she is the new employee that's being recruited, he was like, babe, you said that you were a librarian, like you introduced yourself as a librarian to our family, and now you're here like getting interviewed for the job. So he was like, something is up, something about this girl is not true. So from there the story basically start, and like they have this tension between them, that's really high tension between them. And it is like good because she was not definitely in a relationship with his brother, so that was okay, I guess. This is how this started. The first half of the book is really good. Like all the good thing is really in the first half of the book, like the chemistry, all the things, the tensions and the banters, all the things in the first half. The second half of the book, after the confession happens, like after Jack confesses her about his feelings, the second half of the book gets slows. Like it really slows, nothing really happens. Like the book might be even concise by 200 pages, which is now 384 pages. The book, which is 384 pages, it can be like 200 or 250 pages also, but it's fine. This happens, and honestly in this whole book we get to see the like personality, like the character development of Elsie, because she is a people pleaser. Because of the habit of being a people pleaser, she observes people so minutely that she knows what to say to make that person like happy, like how to mend yourself in a person which you are not, to make samne wala person like you. That's what basically Elsie is. She doesn't have her own personality. She doesn't know what her own personality is like. So even though her professor is saying her name wrongly, she doesn't correct her. So all these things changes. Like she start becoming her. She start accepting her. Towards the end of the book, this what is happened. She even like my most fun part of this book is that she tells his professor. She finally tells her professor, who always pronounces her name wrong, that oh my god, this is not my name, which I really like. So this is all about this book. I like it better than Love Hypothesis, honestly, so I'm gonna go with 3.75 stars for this book. After reading Ali Hazelwood works, you realize that basically all her stories are same. Everything is same. The plot is same. The twists and turns are same. The women are same. The only thing that changes is the characters. So that's basically the reason that I didn't read Love on the Roof or Love Under the Roof. That's her second book, I guess. First was this, The Love Hypothesis. Second was that, and third is The Love Theoretically. She also has novellas, which I have not read, because after reading how massive, big, broad again Jack is, I thought that I don't have an intention of reading the same thing again and again and again and again, just with different names. Like I love versatile stories. I love an author who has this versatilities, who have different things, who have different plots to talk about, not the same thing, not the same stem again and again and again. Because of that, after reading Love theoretically, which I really loved this. But after that, I thought, I made my mind that I'm not going to read any of her work anymore. Like there is this from my side, there is a full stop on her works, that I'm not gonna read it. But there is always but in the story. What happens that one day I was scrolling and I read an article that she is releasing a book that is Chicken Neck, and it was all over the booktube, book talks. People were talking that like it's about chess, and like when the first time when I heard that it is about chess and it is not about a woman working under STEM, I was like, I am going to read it, because honestly I like her writing like style. She like it's light and it's humored and it's good. So I like her writing styles, but I wanted something different, some different plot, and she was giving me that. So I decided to read Chicken Neck, and I am impressed. I am totally impressed with this work of her. So Chicken Neck, the third book, and my most favorite book of her. My most favorite book. I think it's probably my most like it's not a 5-star read for me, and it's one of the best books that I read in 2024. I read this during holy time when I was having my holidays. I read this book at my home, and what an incredible time I have. Like I love this book so much. I have enjoyed this thoroughly, and it's really good. The plot is good. So talking about what the story is, okay? So we have Mallory Greenleaf and Nolan Swear. Now Mallory is she is a chess genius. Like she loves chess. She thinks about 10, like her mind works 10 steps ahead, that what are the opponent's next move will be, and she has planned everything. Okay, agar ye idhar se aayega, I'm gonna play this and this. Like she's that smart, and she doesn't even know that she's that smart. But something happened, because of that she have left chess. She doesn't play anymore, although she like deep inside she longs to play chess, but she like over the surface she hated, because of the chess, because father is no more. And so what happens when you read it, you get to know it's one of the big plot of this book, which I'm not gonna spoil for you. So that happens, and she have 2 little sisters, and oh my god, like the relationship between all these sisters are so good. Like they're like, this sister like say bad things about her, and she retort back, and like little banter with our friends, our sisters and brothers. So well, like this thing about this book makes it so relatable for me, because I too have a lot of battles with my siblings. So this is one of the good thing about this book, that she is low on money. Her family is not making enough money because her mother is also ill. Like she has chronic illness, I guess. She has chronic illness, so she's not being well. So all the burden is on Mallory. So it was one of the Mallory's impulsive decision that she goes on a chess tournament and she plays chess. Like she was like, let's just play this one game, and like because that game was offering money, who will win. So she went to play chess there, and she didn't know about her opponent. So her opponent sat, and within 2 or 3 minutes she defeated him. And then beat him, everyone around her was in utter shock. And then she gets to know that the person she beated was none other than the king, the king killer of the chess world. Like he defeated Nolan Swear, who was the world champion, who was like the current world champion, and everyone was shocked that a rookie has defeated a world champion. Like, oh my god. Or that she directly flew from there. She just flew from there up, like from all the medias and cameras. This news went everywhere. It is everywhere on the social medias, because Nolan although he is the world chess champion, he has many haters. He has many haters who hate him even within the chess department. Almost everyone hate him because he is like the untouchable guy who is so bored to defeat. He's like his right hands work to defeat you. It's so easy for him to defeat anyone. So when he is defeated, everyone enjoyed it and everyone wanted Mallory on her team to defeat him again. So that's happened. Okay, so the story moved forward with Mallory being recruited in one of a company who train chess players. Although Mallory is very genius, but she's not methodical. There is also method of playing chess, which I really get to know after reading this book. You have to study. There are various moves that you get to know. There are opening moves. You'll know when you read this book. So this happened, and the chemistry between these two, even though nothing happens, nothing at all happens. I am that person who reads smart with a straight face, but when the acting that happens and when there is they shake hand after when he defeated her, when she defeated when she defeated him, there was a handshake and that moment was so electrifying that, oh my god, I love that moment. So this happens, and after that Mallory has made her mind that she will no longer play chess, and that definitely not with Nolan Square. She feels that there is something tugging inside her whenever she sees him, and on the other hand Nolan is so ready to play again with her. That boy, after very long pages we get to realize that Nolan is basically obsessed with her. When she feels that Nolan hates her, she is in that confusion that Nolan hates me and he doesn't like me, he must be so angry that I have defeated him. But on the other hand, Nolan was intrigued by her moves, the way she thinks. Our boy was so in love with Mallory, and when they confessed, I'm like, oh my god, they have waited for this. What happens that when the final thing comes, when it was now time for the world chess champion, the tournament started and both have participated in that. They were so waiting to play against each other. Nolan was, of course, he effortlessly made it to the the final round. But when Mallory chess was going and he was playing against this one particular opponent who is really so bad, you want to punch him on the face. He is so arrogant, he's so jerk. He made her feel so he so belittle him. He's such a jerk that he thinks that women's are there to women's basically wins because they seduce the opponent by opening a button of their shirt. He's like that, he's that kind of asshole. So he's playing with her, and at the last moment something happens and he moves his chess piece in a way that has no space for the opponent. He finally make a move, and that leaves Mallory so stunned. Everyone was stunned because there was no move to defeat that. There was no move to counterattack his move. So she withdraw, she accept that she has lost. And because of that, the final match happens between the final match is set between Nolan and that boy, that man. Okay, but the most shocking thing you'll get to on hindsight, what happened that Mallory is now preparing with Nolan, and she's basically learning and during the preparation she learning how he thinks and he is learning how she thinks. This was going in one thing, and they're having a very good relationship. Everything was going smooth there, but suddenly there was a phone call and she get to realize that his opponent has played false. He cheated during he has taken support of an AI or something. So so that news was out. They have the recording, and I was thinking कि भाई तुम इतने महीने से कर क्या रहे थे? It's months have passed, and now they get to realize that he has cheated. But we're gonna have a blind eye on that. So she get a call that she is now going on the world tournament as a final participant. Now the final match is between Mallory and Nolan. and that news shocked both of them, because like they have been practicing with each other for so long, and like you're supposed to be an opponent who has to play against each other, and instead you both were practicing with you both were practicing with each other. So what happens in the last match is their last match is so interesting. Like there was 16 draws between them, and after the 17th, and they were playing for the 17th time that day, and you have to read this book to see who wins that day. And after that they are married, they're happily living after, and this is really my favorite book from her, like best work from her. Moving on, so I'm going okay. So very quickly, I'm gonna give this book like I have to say, I want to say 5. Like I really want to say 5, but it is like 4.999 stars. And I love this book. Okay, let's just say 5. I'm gonna give this book 5 out of 5 stars. I love this, and I'm really thinking that this is gonna live in my head rent free. So okay, moving on, the 4th book that I read recently, just like months before, it is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Now this is a story between vampire and a werewolf. Now the vampire, her name is Misery. Yes, her name is Misery. Like what a name. So her name is Misery, and she is set to marry this werewolf, like the alpha of the pack. I'm again forgetting his name. I'm so sorry. So Misery is set to marry him, and she's supposed to marry him because of a pact. Like it's kind of a pact to have a good bond between werewolves and vampires. Like they're not against head of each other. So to have silence between them, to have a mutual bond between them, she is married to a werewolf. So this happens, and they fall in love in the process. Okay, so this she married him, but no one knows that she married him because of another reason that we'll get to know in the book, because her friend is missing, and because of some evidence she read his name on her diary on the last day, and so because of that she agrees to marry him, and she married. And while everything is going, she is also doing her research of that what has finally happened to her friend. Like her friend was suddenly vanished. Like she's like they were both together, and like her friend was human. Like from the starting, like she was always a symbol of a pact, a symbol of peace. Like she was first sent into human world to have a pact between humans and vampires, and now she's sent to werewolves to have the pact between vampires and werewolves. So she was that kid who was always isolated. No one befriended her because she is different. So she was always a lonely, but this human girl was her friend, and she understand Misery. But one day she was also taken away from her, so she is really desperate to find her, that what has happened with her. So because of that she marries him. Okay, so so everything is going around, and she's on her way to search what has happened to her friend. And when you know that what really has happened and everything, you will be shocked. The plot is good. Okay, I like the plot. So this is basically the synopsis. You see, I like the plot, but the story was very slow paced. Like it was okay, it was not something like the thought was unique, like the story was unique, but it was not very interesting for me. Like it was like an average story for me. Like I really wanted to know how it ended, not of curiosity, but just because I wanted that if I started this book, I want to end this book. So it was just very average book for me. I give this book like 3 stars. Like I did enjoy the chemistry between them, but apart from that everything was average. So I'm gonna go with 3 stars, and that's it. That's all I have to talk about Ali Hazelwood's work. That's all that I have read. So I have read 4 of her books, and I'm looking forward to read more of her books if her plots are not same, if she's writing something different. So I'm gonna read it. I think she writes 1 book per year. So like Bride was 2024's Bride was released in this month. So I'm thinking that the next book will be releasing on in 2025. So we're gonna look forward to that. And That's it. I like her writing. Like, you know, there are humors and there are scenes that are enjoyable. Her book overall is enjoyable, so I keep looking forward to her works, and I enjoyed it. And I hope if you are going to start her books, if you are going to start her novels, this would provide you a guide of what her books are actually about. बहुत तेज हवा चल रही है. So what her books are actually about, you get to know it. And I like her books, yeah. Like her books, one of her main focus is that she really focuses on women's struggling in their field and how they're conquering it, which I really like. And the second are the romance, the tensions, and the plots. It all happens, and it's a good book. So her stories are good. It's likable. It's enjoyable also. So that's it for this video. I hope you like this video. I hope it has helped you in some way or the other. And if you have read any of this book, do comment below. Do let me know that what are your thoughts on this book. And that's it. I hope to see you in the next video. Till then, bye. Have a good day. And also my exams are around the corner, so it's really getting tough to make videos. I've just come from my school and I'm making this video. So bye. Like, share, comment and subscribe, and bye.